show subtitle. Are you doing it? Okay. As always, we invite you to check in on social media with the hashtag UUAnywhere. Now, time for some announcements. I have just a few from the life of our community. All of these announcements can also be found in our weekly newsletter, Compass. You can sign up for Compass on our website. Beloved Conversations is open for enrollment. If you are interested in delving more into the issue of race and your own personal understanding of it, we are hoping a good percentage of our congregation will take this within the first 2 years. Please consider signing up. Now, folks, Beloved Conversations is an amazing opportunity for you to be part of the national UU movement to address white supremacy. You'll get to work with people from your congregation who have done amazing work so far this year, new folks who are joining, and people from all over the country. And you'll get to see some familiar faces in the facilitation, videos, and worship time together. Faces like Janine Gelsinger, faces like. And now, an important announcement from our producer, Rev. Christine.
We have breaking news from our state legislature. While the November election on a national level was a huge relief, our state legislatures have doubled down on attacking our LGBTQ siblings, our public schools, and women's right to agency over their bodies. They are also attempting to thwart democracy by setting up roadblocks to voting access. So all of you who were involved in the election and who are feeling a sense of relief, we cannot let you be complacent. We want you to be involved in what is happening in Arizona, because some of the bills coming out of them are truly horrifying. Our civic engagement team offers a small action in each compass, but highly recommends Arizona's unique and powerful request to speak, that RTS, our request to speak system that allows citizens to weigh in on bills from home. No actual speaking allowed. RTS becomes more powerful as more people use it. What we want to do is flood the RTS on some of these bills that are most damaging and say, no, you will not be doing that in our names. Doing RTS means committing 1 or 2 hours or less, just going through and seeing some of these bills and making a commitment to say something in the legislature. A lot of times on Sunday afternoons, you can do this, plus maybe a couple of check-ins to see what's happened in the legislature during the week. You can learn how to use RTS by emailing our civic engagement team, civicengagement@phoenixuu.org. They are friendly, they are individual training to help you put your words into action. They are offering to train you to do this so our legislature can be impacted. Thank you for making a difference. Now, back to you, Katie.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by you, our generous viewers. We are collecting our offering virtually, just like in our service, virtual. We ask that you be generous in giving support to the mission of our beloved community. You can text UUCP to 73256, 73256, and you can donate through the website, or you can send an old-fashioned check. For all that you give to our congregation, we are so, so thankful.
Welcome to the Ask Nigel Show. Dear Nigel, what does it mean to all lift each other up? Why would we do that? So we would all lift each other up because we're all a community. We're all together. We're all linked right here. Next question. Dear Ask Nigel, why do TV shows make it seem like poor people are bad? That's a good question. Why do TV shows make it seem like poor people are bad? Well, to answer your question, it's because that poor people don't have that much money. They are just people walking around asking for help, and no one gives it to them because they're either disgusted at the fact that they're homeless, or they don't feel any intention, or they feel like if they were more respectful with their life, they would still be okay. And asking for help isn't bad. I ask for help all the time. When I'm having a hard time, or if I
How many of you remember those old broadcast emergency sounds? The ones that would come on and say, it's 11 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Well, it's 10:30 on a Sunday. Do you know where your children are? I know where my kiddo is. He's on screen. But let's think about how we know where and when our community is and how we know to take care of them. That check-in time at 11 p.m. every night wasn't just about making sure your kid was home for curfew. It was also about making sure that your family was safe. Now we know that safety isn't just about being home. It's about taking care of our bodies and our minds and our hearts. We've spent the last month and every January for the past few years learning about media literacy. And it's one of the ways that we take care of our minds. We work to make sure the children and youth in our congregation understand that the media that they see, be it in news, music, movies, or television, is theirs to interpret. They are able to choose their media. They are also given the skills to interpret what the message that media is trying to tell them so they can make a good choice. In the past year, okay, or maybe the past decade, adults have needed this lesson too. We've needed to look closely at our news sources. We've needed to look and figure out where the truth lies. We've needed to figure out what facts are facts and what facts have just been made up and circulated to the point where we believe them. Today's service has been generated by our kiddos, media created by kiddos. After long lessons about fact-checking, generating a message, and making sure to communicate in a way that the community can understand. And yes, we are having tons and tons of technical difficulties. But teaching kids media literacy and the tools of media is going to have lots of bumps. Hopefully, not as many bumps as sharing untrue memes on Facebook has had for our democracy. Now we're going to throw it over to Reverend Christine for joys and concerns.
Thank you so much, Katie. And I would like to introduce my production assistant, Rex. because now it is time for your input. What have been your ups and downs recently? Being together, it is good to share and to support each other and to connect. Please write any joys and sorrows that you want our community to know about in the chat. You can please put your name at the beginning so I know who it is. And if you want it to be private just to our production team and not to be shared, please put the word private at the beginning, and so we can hold it in our hearts. While you're entering your own joys and sorrows, let me mention a few in our world. We know that the acquittal at the impeachment trial yesterday was not a surprise, but it was difficult nonetheless. As Unitarian Universalists, we stand for democracy, for peace, and for the eradication of hate. There is still a long way to go with all of those to live out our values in our government. May we never stop fighting for it all. I also wanted to recognize the 3rd anniversary of the Parkland, Florida school shooting. We are praying for the students and teachers and all of those who have been impacted by our gun culture and gun violence, which is truly all of us. I wanted to let you know in our community that I talked to Barbara Cawthorn this morning, who had surgery last Tuesday in her lungs. And Barbara is back home a little bit earlier than she expected and is doing as well as can be expected. The patience of healing is always an ongoing challenge when we are healing, and we wish Barbara healing and patience and love. And I also wanted to let you know that our son Eric is doing really well after his surgery on Tuesday to remove the cancerous tumor on his thyroid. His margins are clear and he is healing at home. Thank you all for all of your support and all of that. Now let us turn to the joys and sorrows of our community. Oh, let's see. Rob and Katie Klinger have a joy to share. We're having a house built in Buckeye. It should be ready in June or July. How wonderful. Sherilyn Wally says, it is a joy working with our UUCP kiddos, and what a joy it is having you, Sherilyn, with us. And from Walter and Ruth Pincus, we have a new grandnephew in Denmark. How wonderful. From Charlotte, Smoot and I got our first COVID vaccinations. Hooray! And another one, Mira Shaw, had my second shot on Friday. Take that, COVID. Hooray, Mira. A joy for the Palumbo family. Chandani turned 16 yesterday. Happy birthday. Bunny says, Dale and I celebrated yesterday 5 years of dating, meeting at UUCP, working together on a committee. So a sign on Valentine's Day, everyone should work on a committee. Michelle and Brian Lifshitz saying Brian's parents helped out in the community and got the vaccine. How wonderful. Sarah Montgomery has a joy. My wife London and I are celebrating birth to Versatines with 2 days off. 2 days of no work, no daytime parenting, and lots of at-home spa treatments. Enjoy, enjoy. From Nabi and Jira, we got flowers, yay. And Amy Miskell says, joy, Stephen's brother Tim got us an exercise bike. Wonderful, enjoy. Pat Alsman says, love to all on Valentine's Day. If we could meet in person, I would bring a big box of candy. And right back at you, Pat. The Lipschitz family says, happy 18th birthday, Dylan, on Monday. Dylan, very, very happy 18th birthday from all of us. Ed Cernak has a joy. People in my circle are increasingly getting vaccinated, and I'm scheduled for Tuesday. Victoria Meyer says, a joy that Mom got her first vaccine and Ted and I also received our first round. We're going to celebrate every single vaccine. So thrilled to hear this. Bill and Joan say, so nice to have lunch with our grandson at an outdoor restaurant. He wore a shirt honoring Black Lives Matter. And Laurel Harden says, I'm delighted to share that I've received my first COVID vaccination and will get my second one on February 26th. I feel as if I've won the lottery because I went with my husband, Mark, when he received his. And on the suggestion of a friend, I asked if I could get one as his wife, and they had one extra. Woohoo. From my wife, Karen Schultz. Finally was able to schedule my mom's first vaccine in Florida for tomorrow. I'm telling you all, it took weeks and a lot of time to do that, and we'll be very relieved. Rachel says, I paid off my grad school loan after 10 years. What a big accomplishment. Congratulations, Rachel. And seeing some other. From Izzy, it's a joy. Our firstborn grandson, Dylan, so thrilled to be here to celebrate you tomorrow, 18 years. Yes, all the love to Dylan and your birthday. And I think that is all of our joys and sorrows, along with all of those that we hold still in our hearts and in our minds, and that we hold as a community in love. So back at you, Owen.
Here at the Search for Truth News, we know that the truth can be tricky sometimes. Our investigative team has been digging up dirt and making sure the lies can't worm their way in. Let's hear what they found.
There's a quote usually attributed to the writer Mark Twain that goes, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes." Funny thing about that, there's reason to doubt that Mark Twain ever said this at all, thus ironically proving the point. And today the quote, whoever said it, is truer than ever before. Recent advances in communication technology have had immeasurable benefits in breaking down the barriers between information and people. But our desire for quick answers may overpower the desire to be certain of their validity.
All right. Oh my gosh, that was a great check-in. Thank you. I'm glad to see all of you. Before I get started on some kind of political topic, anyone have a topic they would like to discuss?
Oh my gosh, yes, I have one.
Go for it.
Okay, so there's this thing going around, and his name is Earthworm Sally.
Oh God, no.
It's what?
Earthworm Sally?
Okay.
No, no, please no.
Why? I have no idea what you guys are talking about. You've heard of this, Annalise?
It's bad. It's really bad. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yusana, are you telling me this is actually a thing? Because I know you can't lie.
Yeah, it sadly is.
The speed with which information spreads now has created the ideal conditions for a phenomenon known as circular reporting.
This has got to be just 10 to 13-year-olds. I mean, this is like a preteen thing, right?
No, I didn't know about it too.
I think Ren's probably heard me complain about it.
Your parents,
because I complained
you're
about
telling
it.
me Nani knows about it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Nani, have you heard about Earthworm Sally?
Yes, sweetie, I've heard about Earthworm Sally many times.
Have you heard about Earthworm Sally?
What, kiddo?
Have you heard about Earthworm Sally?
Yes, I've heard about Earthworm Sally. I'm tired of hearing about Earthworm Sally. It's everywhere. Everywhere I turn around.
Oh, have you heard about Earthworm Sally?
Heard about what?
Earthworm Sally.
Oh, yeah. I know all about Earthworm Sally.
Okay, girls, I believe you. We have Earthworm Sally is a thing.
Thanks for the trust.
Google believes you too.
It's also considered a form of circular reporting when multiple publications report on the same initial piece of false information, which then appears to another author as having been verified by multiple sources.
Oh, well, I'm going to Google this thing because you trust me. And I'm going to Google this thing and I'm going to check Wikipedia. If Earthworm Sally is a real thing, it'll be on Wikipedia.
Okay. Because that is a great way to check your sources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, but like,
I say use Wikipedia. It's a great way to find out what's real and what's not real.
User-generated content such as wikis are also a common contributor to circular reporting. As more writers come to rely on such pages for quick information, an unverified fact in a wiki page can make its way into a published article that may later be added as a citation for the very same wiki information, making it much harder to debunk. More caution is in order. Avoiding sensationalist media, searching for criticisms of suspicious information, and tracing the original source of a report can help slow down a lie, giving the truth more time to put on its shoes.
Hey! You can't believe everything you see online.
Community, we're all welcome to the Ask Nigel show. Dear Nigel, what does it mean to all lift each other up? Why would we do that? So we would all lift each other up because we're all a community. We're all together. We're all linked right here. Next question. Dear Ask Nigel, why do TV shows make it seem like poor people are bad? That's a good question. Why do TV shows make it seem like poor people are bad? Well, to answer your question, it's because that poor people don't have that much money. They are just people walking around asking for help, and no one gives it to them because they're either disgusted at the fact that they're homeless, or they don't feel any intention, or they feel like if they were more respectful with their life, they would still be okay. And asking for help isn't bad. I ask for help all the time. When I'm having a hard time, or if I need support from someone, or if I just need help in any way, I ask for help. It's not a bad thing. It's not something that you should be ashamed of. It's just it's okay to ask for help. When you need help, ask someone. Poor people aren't actually bad. Being a good or bad person doesn't matter how much money you have. There are rich people who are good and they use their money for good. Like they put money into helping homeless people, and they put money into helping the world. Okay. Our next question. Dear Nigel, why do you give to your community? Being generous means helping one another, not being greedy, thinking about others, putting yourself in their situation, and also when someone needs help, you help them. You're there for them. It's feeling that pride inside of you, letting your candle inside you grow, letting your little light grow. That's what being generous is. So, asking for help is okay. I give to my community because it's the right and kind thing to do. And I love my community. And you guys are special. And I love you. Okay, that is all the questions for today. See you next time on the Ask Nigel Show. Bye.
Hi, my name is Dylan, and I'm here to talk to you about the kids camp that we run here at UUCP every summer. Now, whether it's because you found a dodgeball under your seat during service, or because you know a child who attends, I'm sure that you've all heard of kids camp. But, do you know what it's really about? Kids camp is a place for tie-dye. It's a place for fun hairstyles. It's a place for arts and crafts, but it's so much more than that. Kids Camp is a place where we can learn and grow together. No, we don't teach math or reading, that's for school. But we do teach the value of community. And we learn from the campers too. They are incredibly bright young people. These kids leave camp every year with friends they just can't wait to see next summer. And so do we, because that's the magic of Kids Camp. I've been a part of the Kids Camp community for about 4 years now, and I'm giving you the counselor guarantee that this is a great choice for your kiddos. And remember, this camp is a place for everybody, you or not, so bring your friends. This year, Kids Camp will be entirely online once again to ensure the safety of our staff and campers. So look out for more information in Compass or on Instagram at Kids Camp Director. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you there.
Okay. Today's broadcast is about searching for what is true. But how do we find what is really true? We will soon hear from several of our correspondents about this, but first, I would like to give you my perspective. It is very hard to sort through lies and truth. Even my own father has a habit of telling tall tales. Sometimes it's hard to sort through what's true. For example, my dad likes to say that my mom made the first step in pursuing him by telling us about how she moved one seat closer to him in class every day. In order to get the real story, I ended up asking my mom, who informed me she was dating someone else at the time. That truth was easy to discern, but sometimes it isn't that easy. There are many events in history with little to no evidence of actually happening. We rely on second and third-hand stories from descendants and trusted sources. But what happens when those trusted sources cannot be trusted? For example, in an effort to hide the true identity of the origin of the famous HeLa cells, doctors changed the name of Henrietta Lacks to Helen Lane. It was only through interviews with her family and other research that the true origin was found as Henrietta Lacks. Because of that research, we were able to honor the woman responsible for so many medical advances. I've given examples of obvious lies and ones that were harder to find, but in today's broadcast, we are going to be covering tools we use to find the truth. Let's hear from our reporters on the street or in their living rooms.
Hi, my name is. And three ways that I interact is by talking with my family, by stopping movies when I don't understand something, and reading. So the first idea is that ways that I interact is by talking with my family, by stopping movies when I don't understand something, and reading. So the first idea is that at the dinner table, me and my family talk about what happened that day, or what's going to happen tomorrow, or what happened yesterday. And sometimes it's political, sometimes it's just like, oh, what are we going to do on like Thursday, or what are we going to do on a certain day. And the reason why I really like this way of interacting with my family and the world is because I feel like it's a really safe space for me to let out my feelings on like where I stand in the position, or not in the position, but like where I stand in what they're saying. So like sometimes I agree on what they're saying, sometimes I like question what they're saying, and then they usually like they go into deeper details on why they feel that. And the second way that I interact with my family is by movies. So on Saturday and Sunday, it's the day that I don't have school, and on Friday, I get out of school early. So on those 3 days, we usually watch movies, or sometimes we play games. And usually when we're watching a movie, we either stop it or pause it to if like I don't understand something that's in the movie. So like if like something occurred and I didn't really understand what happened, then I would like pause it and then I'd ask about what happened, and they'd usually answer it. And that's an example of Dunkirk, where there's 3 timelines. One is 1 week, a day, and an hour. It's a really good movie. And it's like I had a question, and then they like paused it to make sure that I was caught up with where they were. And my last idea was that I read this amazing magazine called The Week Junior, and I usually read it on like Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, and then I talk about it at the dinner table with my family and talk about what I learned. Thanks.
My name is Jara Spring Putnam Lynn, and I'm 7 years old, and I really like swinging at the park because we're now really close to one, and I really like hanging out on the outdoors.
What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her. My name's Bayla.
How old are you?
6.
You're 7.
I mean 7.
And tell me something about yourself.
I like squares. I could tell you 2 things if you want.
Sure.
And I also got a report card, or all A's, and then I got all F's.
Mm-hmm. What did it feel like when you got those 2 report cards?
Oh, it felt funny.
My name is Navi. I'm 9 years old. I really like D&D books. My pronouns are she, hers, and Nabi means butterfly in Korean.
Media is how you share information.
TV, print, stories, songs. I always thought that media was just screens.
It could be almost anything. Movies, books, TV. Let me think. Songs. Or even you telling me this. For example, monsters are scary. That's media.
I haven't really seen anybody that kind of looks like me except Jara.
Yeah, and I've seen Nabi. I see people similar, like with my skin tone, but maybe not long hair, not a girl. But I do see people with sort of my skin and long hair, like mine. But most of them have bangs. But I can put my bangs down. They're kind of weird now. I need to cut them. Feels kind of sometimes weird, like they're reflecting it on me. Or sometimes like, this is cool. I mean, I like scary movies, but I don't like horror movies. I do not like horror movies. I also really like basalt. Basalt is like a plain gray rock, but it also can be found up there on the moon. Many books, and not just one. Fiction and nonfiction, and fiction movies and shows, and fiction and non-fiction shows, and fiction movies and shows. Also, to maybe not write the own song. I get stage fright when I sing. I like making the beat.
I have a question break for every time I'm on camera. Today's is, how was the universe created? You get a bonus.
I would be sort of famous, but not in a way. But not famous for one thing, famous for lots of things, but only like not super famous, only like a little famous. I enjoy my humble little house. Oh, wait a minute, I don't want to be famous that much.
Hello everybody, my name's Lily. So as we all know, COVID-19 is a worldwide pandemic, so quite a few people across the globe are quarantining. In my life, I've realized exactly how much a strong community can help, but in times like these, it might feel hard to stay connected or like you're still a part of that community. While we do live in the internet age, so it's much easier to stay in contact, it's not really the same. But there is a slightly good side to quarantine. Since I'm not interacting with the world as much, I've really been able to slow down a bit. Slow down and realize more of the little tiny things that I never really focused on, like, say, all the different colors in the sky. And I had originally kind of thought that staying with my family in the same house for an extended period would end up in us hating each other or someone dying. But having to spend time with them without all the distractions of things like toxic friendships or school stuff as much, I've kind of really realized exactly how well we get along, and I've noticed how much we laugh when we get together. My family never really got together all that much because my parents worked, I had school, my homework, my after-school activities, plus hanging out with my friends. So, and well, I can't really do a lot of those things anymore now, can I? Well, I still despise COVID and quarantining, even though I know I need to, and it's good to. It has taught me a lot about both myself and all the different ways I can still feel like an active member of society and my community without leaving the safety of my own COVID-free house.
Before closing words, we'd like to invite you to coffee hour after the broadcast, where we will meet in a large group, then smaller groups. The rooms are posted in the chat and will be on the final slide. Visitors, we hope you join us. We're a friendly bunch. Okay, we can broadcast.
Owen. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first, I'd like to thank our contributors today: Annalise, Giovanna, Yosana, Nabi, Jerry, Jera, Nigel, Lily, Leo, Bela, and of course, Owen and Dylan. Now let's take a moment as a spiritual community, as a community of faith, to meditate. Let's take a moment to reflect on who we are as a community and how thankful we are for technology, even though it's a bit bumpy. I present to you our own community artist, Leilana Forrester, with an original poem and a musical moment by Annalise Forrester.
Remember that everyone's equal, that we're all human beings as people. Remember that love is the way to go. It travels effortlessly through wind, hail, rain, and snow. Remember to be kind to everyone you meet. Remember there are people that are living on the street. Remember to never play hide and seek in the fog. Remember to always feed the dog. Remember that your sibling can also be your friend. Remember that you have 2 ears to listen and 2 hands to lend. Remember to live life to the fullest because you only have one. Always remember to play because the day has just begun.
So folks, Principle 4 news broadcasting has been really fun. It's been amazing working with kiddos to create videos and messages that are their own. And yes, over the past, is it 11 months now? We have learned to be so thankful for technology that brought us together. We have learned how to connect and be community, even when we're far apart. And we've learned to comfort ourselves during all sorts of loneliness. and we've practiced gratitude, and we've survived, and we've practiced perseverance. And as our community at UUC Phoenix, we've done a very good job of remembering that the kids are practicing those things, that our elders are practicing those things, and that together we're pushing through them. But y'all, I gotta be honest, this isn't always fun. And a lot of times, Zoom just kind of sucks. And not being with you isn't the same as being together. I know that we can't wait until there's a time when we can choose when we want to socially distance, when we want to interact online, and when we want to be in person. And it's going to be pretty amazing when that happens again. But for now, let's keep reminding each other that we can survive. And also, let's make sure that we're really honest with ourselves. Closing video with a little bit of honesty for you. So with that, don't forget to join us at coffee hour. You'll have a chance to talk to Owen, some of our other kiddos who created videos for today. We're a friendly bunch. The moderator will put info into the chat. And with that, thank you so much for being part of our community. Your support and love is phenomenal and is the strength of one another. Please, please remember to check in on each other. Say it with me. Amen. Blessed be. And Ashe. Go in peace. Go in love.